Reclaim these nuts. Shit.
All right. Y'all know who's having a good day though?
Bill Cosby.
Thank you, Q.
Woo, I was waiting for it.
That's why me and Q are best friends.
I was waiting for you to say it. I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna do it.
But no, he handed it off for you though. Like, damn, that was smooth.
Oh man! All right. According to the New York Times, Bill Cosby was released from prison Wednesday after the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned his 2018 conviction for sexual assault and dramatic reversal in one of the first high-profile criminal trials of the Me Too era. The court decision seemed likely to end the Pennsylvania case. Legal experts said, and while more than 50 women across the nation have accused Mr. Cosby of sexual assault and misconduct, statutes of limitations in the case makes further prosecutions unlikely. Mr. Cosby had served 3 years of a 3 to 10 sentence at a maximum security prison outside when the court ruled that a non-prosecution agreement with a previous prosecutor meant that Mr. Cosby should not have been charged in the case. In short, he should have never went in the court the first place. So, everybody, Mr. Cosby is free. How do you guys feel about that? Who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll do this first. It was a bullshit trial. He was held too long. There wasn't enough substantial evidence. All the stories were too consist. Like the stories were all the same, and you know, it didn't seem like it was a fair trial, and it wasn't a fair trial. And there are a bunch of conspiracy theories I can go into to why all of this happened. Blah 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 blah. But in all, he's home. Why would you have the man? The man is going blind, and he's like 80-something years old. And all of these allegations came like 50 years, 40 years ago, and these people are just popping up out of nowhere. And I don't want to be, I don't want to lack sensitivity towards the Me Too Act because I'm a strong fighter for women equality. But at the same time, I don't see, like, there are certain situations I just don't see why, like, the trial went the way it did. Well, I'm generally, happy that he's home because it was a fucked up trial. Now, did he do these things? We generally don't know. But I made a joke the other day. I said the government, clearly got R. Kelly, so they gave us Bill Cosby back. So that was my joke. So it was like a trade for trade. Kind of
I was trying not to laugh at that. I really was.
I know it was fucked up. It was fucked up when I said it, but I laughed because I laughed at that shit. So it was perfect for me. And then there was the other conspiracy theory joke I had when I said the only reason he went to jail was to avoid coronavirus because he knew it was coming before everybody else did. But that's just me being an asshole.
Shut up.
That's just me being a
Yo, you 2 for 2, boy.
I mean, don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm just happy Bill Cosby's home because he was in a bullshit trial.
If I may,
let's note the fact that Philadelphia has the justice system in Philadelphia has a long history of having fucked up trials and fucked up limitations as far as prosecuting and convicting felons. So this is not the first time that this happens. This is just like, finally he's home. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Something I wanna bring up. I don't know full details. I saw part of an interview that I believe it was Faison Love was talking about how there was some type of a grudge or personal vendetta between the judge handling Bill Cosby's case and one of the lawyers, I believe. Did anyone see or hear anything like that?
Oh, okay. Apparently, the original judge who was seeing over a Bill Cosby case had withdrawn, or I guess I don't know, wasn't on the case anymore. So the deal that he wasn't supposed to be prosecuted until it was proven that everything, went down. That's where the animosity came from, because the new judge came in and threw everything out and said, "Fuck that, we're going to prosecute him." When the original, deal was for him not to be prosecuted unless there was substantial evidence saying that he did these things. And because they prosecuted him, without a fair trial, and they went against their agreement, which is where the falling out of the judge and the lawyer came in.
Okay.
So basically, it was like, all right, I made a deal with you, but like it's like I hired you for a job, and I personally gave you a certain salary, but for some reason I decide to step down from my job, and then somebody else comes in and they give you the regular salary that everybody else get, when I already promised you a certain, stipulation. So it's kind of like that.
I mean, either way, the whole that whole scenario, like you said, it was a bunch of crap. It was a bunch of garbage.
But like I said, this is not the first time, because if you remember, Meek Mill was wrongly convicted. He was locked up and convicted. And he was in jail for like a year or two for a fucking violation of his parole for riding in a motorcycle in the street. And that was one of the big things in Philadelphia, that their justice system is fucked up. So, with this Bill Cosby case going on, and it being in Philadelphia, it didn't surprise me that, things were fucked up and that they end up releasing him, because I know the justice system.
Yeah, not to mention, as you stated earlier, he shouldn't have been sitting for as long as he was.
But this is not. But these justice system in all is a fucked up situation, because they generally have all the power, and we're like chickens with our head cut off. We're not promised the same rights, because when you're locked up, you generally lose your rights, apparently.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's a fucked up situation, because then you don't generally have lawyers who care about you enough to acknowledge the fact that you're in an unfair trial. It plays both sides. So let's just thank God that the person representing Bill Cosby was somebody who truly was dedicated to get him a fair trial and a fair chance to be proven innocent. So but you have a lot of lawyers who don't have that concept, who is just in to get the money, and their job. I mean, you know how it goes. I can get into this whole black thing, but it's no point at this point.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to go? I'll jump in.
Go ahead, D-Boy.
Well, we know why this was a silly case, man. Because if you remember, does anybody remember how this all started? Where the attention? Thank you. There we go. Thank you. Yeah.
Say it again.
You're correct. It was Hannibal Buress, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the catalyst. Now I don't know if he played a part, or if it was happenstance. I don't know, but there were whispers of this guy doing this for years, like, and this wasn't a secret. They all know about the things people are accusing people of, and it ends up on the news. They knew about it before we hear about it.
Long before.
All right, it's just like the whole Caitlyn Jenner thing. Everybody knew, and it was a surprise all of a sudden when he changed himself.
It's a cult.
Exactly.
Once you break the oath, it's over.
Exactly. Now, speaking of cult, when these women at that age and that time in Hollywood, but that time it was like
was like a frat house, yo. It
Oh
was
my
like
God.
anything
Thank you.
goes.
Thank you.
And not only that, his wife was there. She's his handler. They had to go through her to get to him to put in a good word for them to be starlets. That's how it went. Because there's no way, and I keep making this point because I really hate that people like these women make it hard for legit victims of rape to even want to speak out. Because a lot of them are fucking liars.
Oh my God.
You know? And they fuck up cases. Then they have to worry about the peer pressure and all this just because this person's rich, this and the other. They can't say anything. They can never win. All this shit. And these women, okay, they said yes. I have no doubt about that. I will bet my life on that. They said yes, willing. They might have been cautious or, that not, they're hesitant. But they said yes. They had that choice. I know they had that choice because they make you make that choice. They leave it to you so they have no blame. So when you say yes to that, right, then you wait years later until some comedian says something, makes a joke about it, then you want to speak up. And I made this, I did a video on this before. I made this point like, okay, here's a solution, right? Because I don't understand how if all of these women are dealing with this. I don't know why none of them thought of this or are doing this. When you go for let's say you had to meet one-on-one with a producer or something. Let's say it was an office setting. Most of the time it's a dinner and all that stuff. But let's say it's like the casting couch deal, right? You're in an office, there's a room, whole bunch of women lining up to go inside. She's next. Woman A is next. Now he's doing his thing, the normal spiel. Then he says, yo, if you really want to get this like today, you want to get started now, you want your name plastered all over, yo, I'm about to drop trial, do what you got to do, right? Right then and there, they have the choice. They either walk out, or if they're the type of woman that are like, oh, well, I'm comfortable in my sexuality. I don't see it as, they're going to take advantage of it. Like, I love sex anyway. I'll deal with it. Whatever. I want to get this. There are women like that. That's fine. That's fine. But if there are women like, I'm going to leave this to the women like that and the ones that did not want to do it. The solution is once that's over, you either said no or you went through with it. Once it's over, you go to those women in that room and you tell them what's next, what they're about to deal with in that room. They will make that choice to be like, you know what, it ain't worth it, or I'll deal with it. Right. If that's what it takes, I'll deal with it. That will save so many women from those times when this crap started with the casting couch to this day. How many women would they have saved and spared from this bullshit? Right? But then when I talk now, Me Too and all this shit, no kids mentioned though, and that's the bigger problem. But okay, Me Too. All right, you're all adults, and you could have saved many young women from dealing with this shit because a lot of them are going in naive. They aren't as lucky as I was because I learned a lot of shit in film school, so I'll be aware of what to expect when I moved to LA. I was grateful for that. I wish these women, these actresses and whoever who has gone through that will say that before they go in. Or Miss Oprah, or about it and all of these, you're hurting these bitches. You're trying to, you're making sure you fuck with these women's minds so you could turn them into this and make money off of them. They end up on your show later on recovering from shit because of what happened, but they can't mention it. So it's just a drug problem or blame it on, sensationalize all this shit and make money. It's either that, or you're either stupid or liar. Because it's very simple to save these women. But I know that his wife, that Cosby's wife, was the handler. I know these women willingly did it because look at the shit they were doing after. They're fine. They were comfortable. A lot of them either had a career till they're old or just decided not to, whatever happened in between. But all of a sudden you want to say something now? How many cases of rape and all this shit has been going on and you didn't join the thing or start something to make awareness of this or just say, hey, I remember my days in Hollywood. Well, it took a comedian for you to trigger that and make you do something? How many celebrities have been accused before him and has gone through this before him and your mouths are shut, right? You didn't say, oh, I remember there was this time with Cosby, although they're talking about another case. You didn't bring that up. A comedian did this. right? So this is all a game, yo. This is